Now, if Sea Otter was the ignition for the North American festival and show season, then here at Riva Del Garda, it very much is the fire starter for Europe. And as we're about to find out, it's got more e-bikes and tech than ever before. A is for Agilis. Now this is a company called Fishen Parolin from Venice in northern Italy. Look how easy this system is. It's absolutely a dream to use. Perfect for anybody with an e-mountain bike. It's also got a quick release up front. Doddy is going to be absolutely loving this, honestly. It's brilliant. Look at that. There you go, the Agilis. Now B is for Bosch, so for the e-mountain bike challenge. Now me and the Don did this challenge here in Garda last year, and the next round is a Tweed Love, so make sure you get yourselves to that event. Let's see, that's for chair, right? Well, could be, or it could be Camelback, Canyon, Ceramic, Conti, Commensal, or maybe Cannondale. Luke. C is for Cannondale, and they don't seem to have any e-bikes. I smell a rat. Now D is for demo, and it's already 9 o'clock in the morning. We're here at the Canyon truck, and you can see there's already a queue of people lining up to try out their Canyon Spectrals and Neuron e-bikes. E, it's got to be for extra steep head angle. Look at the length of this shock from EXT. Now EXT is a brand from Vicenza in northern Italy, and actually to let you into a little secret, I was actually in a bar in the pub when we named this damper. So EXT do two shock absorbers. They do the Storia, which is an enduro shock, and they also do the Arma, which is a downhill shock. Now the thing about this system is a low pressure system, which means more sensitivity, and I guess it's the kind of thing you really need to ride to appreciate. Now we could not possibly be in Italy without visiting the Fantic stand. Now remember, this was the XF1 which we previewed over at Sea Otter, carbon fibre, 180mm travel. However, it's this bike, let's get through all these demo bikes, another carbon bike there. God, it's kicking off here. This bike here, 200mm front and rear. It was a prototype when we previewed it on EMBN a few months ago, but it is now available as a production bike in limited numbers. Boxer fork up front, 200mm travel, 200mm at the rear. It's got a alloy frame on it, and it comes in one size, and don't forget the 630 watt-hour battery and that 90 Nm Bros Drive S motor. G is for gore wear. Now if you're in the mountains, you've got unpredictable weather conditions, then you're going to need some protection. So they have any coat for any weather condition. H, well, it could only be for high bike, right? And I finally got my hands on a fly-on bike. Here at the high bike stand, they've got 70 different demo bikes from enduro to all mountain to hardtail. So it's absolutely buzzing here with people eager to get out on the trails. Now I is for Ion from Munich in Germany. Now here at Riva Del Garda, they've got a test setup where you can come and if you need to borrow some flat pedal shoes, they've got the new Select, which you can hire out. You need to bring your license over, and you can take these out for 2 hours, try them out. So you've got shoes, they've got the Select, they've got the AM2s, and also you come in the truck here, you've got a whole range. You've got knee pads, you've got back protection. As you can see, they've got loads of them. So all you need to do is bring your license to the Ion stand and you can go for a test ride. Great stuff. J is for Jones needs a coffee desperately. K, KTM. Now I wonder what Kronreif and Trunken Poles would think about the current range of e-bikes that this brand is now making. Obviously KTM is a massive motocross background. One other thing I'm thinking about from Lake Garda Festival is what came first, the chicken or the egg? Especially when looking at motors on these e-bikes. Obviously KTM have got Bosch motors. Is a new motor due? L, it's got to be for Levo, right? Now we're at the Specialized tent of the demo unit. It's feeling a little bit sparse in here. That's because all the bikes are out on guided tours, and you can sign up for one of these guided events on the Specialized website. Unfortunately, it's fully booked here at Garda, but there's plenty more on the calendar. So there you go, that is the battery being taken out of Spitzing on the M1 Sport Technique. Now that battery comes in 880 watt hours or 1050 watt hours. But the big news on the Spitzing bike is that it comes with a TQ motor. Now this bike comes in 3 different variations. It comes as a pedelec, which is up to 25 kilometers an hour, as an S pedelec, which is up to 45 kilometers an hour, or as an R pedelec, which is unrestricted. Now, when it comes to the power, we talk a lot about restriction versus de-restriction on EMBN. Now, this motor comes, as I said, in 3 different variations, and that's 250 watts average, 500 watts average, or 920 watts average. However, the thing is, this motor is the peak of it actually stays the same between pedelec and R pedelec. So the power is not different, it's just about the speed. And the thing is that you can't actually, if you buy a pedelec, you can't actually change that to an S pedelec or an R pedelec because it is done, it's flashed, the software is set at TQ. N is for Northwave. Now, I'm with Cedric Gracia. Now, if you remember, we were at Sea Otter and Cedric launched his new Forest-style e-bike and we were blown away by how different and how cool that bike is. However, Cedric, Northwave, you've been with them for quite a few years, right?
Yes, around 5 now, yeah.
Here's a question. What's the best shoe for e-bike riding? Flats or clips? Or are you too new to e-bikes to know?
Yes, but the thing is, most of the people will probably go flat, I will go clipping.
This is flat.
Yeah, most of the people will go flat, I think.
Yeah.
But I will go clipping because...
Oh look, there's a CG replica shoe.
Yeah, that's to make sure people don't steal it. Not to mine.
And it's got the old French rubber on there. How do you pronounce that?
Michelin.
Michelin, not Michelin.
Well, they helped us to make the sole, and that was really key on the shoe, I think.
And I guess, Cedric, you're probably going to be pushing an e-bike sometimes as well, right?
Yes.
Unless it's a Forest-style e-bike.
Yeah, but you still be able sometimes, you know, to redo some section and stuff. It's really still, you need to push.
Yeah.
You need that grip.
So there you go, Northwave got a massive, massive range of shoes for everybody, even road riders. Now, O is for Otley. Now, I'm not a massive fan of fat bikes. However, e-bike packing, that could be a thing in the future. Having seen that Polini bike with a 400 kilometer range earlier on, I think it could be something that many people will tune into. This is the Otley kit. Like I said, it comes in about 450 euros. You've got your tent and sleeping mat bag up front. You've got your makeup bag there too, which you can detach really easily if you go to the cafe. Multi-tool bag and foam bag. Then obviously all the weight of your system is going to be in the center of the bike so it doesn't destabilize the bike. And finally, your sleeping bag and your bag for your clothes at the back. Brilliant. Now, we couldn't be in Italy without coming to an Italian brand, and this is Polini from Bergamo in northern Italy. Now, they're famous for scooter parts and kits, but also they make a e-bike motor. It's 250 watts, 500 watts max, 70 newton meters of torque. But the big news is they made this hardtail with 2 batteries. Now, they claim the range on this bike is between 340 and 420 kilometers. Mental. SQ Labs E-specific seats. They come in 4 sizes from 13 up to 16, unisex. They got flexi sides there, so when you climb in, you can get up those technical climbs, you don't get hampered by your seat. Check it out. Now, Rockfield is traditionally a gravity brand, but this bike has struck my eye. It's a RX Plus. Comes with a Bros Drive S motor with a 648 battery on it. But what strikes me is how many demo bikes are at the Rockfield stand. I think there's 20 different bikes here, which is quite a change of focus for the brand from Germany. Now, S is for Scott Sharples, so I guess that's 2 S's, right?
Yes, 2, mate. I got 2.
Scott, you've moved to Canyon Bikes.
Yes.
Obviously, just to get the chance to ride an e-bike.
Yeah, you know me.
What is it? Just one thing. What is it about e-bikes that you love?
You know, my last ride session on an e-bike, I was actually feeling fed up with the fact I haven't really done any real training, like really skills training, get out there and nail a track, you know?
Now, this is a Podium World Cup downhill racer.
So I don't have a shuttle, I don't have my own entourage, and so I pulled out the e-bike and they were just banging out laps, and it was the most fun I've had on a bike for so long. I didn't leave satisfied because I kept on blowing some corners, but I left with a big smile on my face, you know. What can you say?
So that's it, section and tracks.
Yep, section and track.
There you go. Now T is for TOC. Now remember, we know about the MIG-R, which comes in 29 or 27.5 wheel sizes. However, they've got the new Ducati bike, which has actually got 29 front, 27.5 rear, 170mm travel up front. That's a hell of a bike. It's got to be for you, Vex, right? What do you reckon, Nick?
Beautiful thing.
Yeah, beautiful. What are these? Now, some people say kids' e-bikes are controversial, but I'm not so sure about that, especially if you live in the mountains, such as here down in Riva Del Garda. This is a company making a kids' e-bike. It's V-Pace from Germany, and it uses the Fabula system, or should I say Fabula. Now, Fabula is a 250 watt-hour battery and a 16 Nm motor on this bike, which means actually you probably get the same amount of range as you would on a higher power e-bike with a 500 watt. W is for WTB from Mill Valley in California. Now, I'm always on the lookout for a good e-bike tyre, and this one has really caught my eye. It's a Verdict. It's actually a Verdict Wet, right, James?
That's right, yeah.
Verdict Wet, not actually available yet. Comes in 27.5 or 29. It's got a really, really aggressive tread pattern on it, which is ideal for e-bike climbing and descending. I reckon it weighs in about 1350, so it's going to be a really substantial tyre, which is ideal for e-bike use. Okay, X is for kiss, and in this case, a double kiss! One for Chris Mandel, and one for Paul Aston. I was going to kiss his wife, but she's gone. Sorry, I should introduce you guys. Paul, Chris Mandel, brand manager for Rock Shocks, rear suspension.
Take that now, Berta.
Chris, Paul Aston, ex-Pink Bike, and now the man on the ground for Nikolai.
Yeah, that's me.
Why? What could Y be for? Well, Whitey, they make some incredible bikes. They won the World Cup Downhill Series only a few years ago. But where is everyone? Of course, they're looking at the YT decoy. So that's it from day one at Garda, and it really blows my mind how big the mountain bike industry is. At Sea Otter we saw a load of brands, at Garda we've seen a load more. And it's interesting to see how much e-bikes are more front of house for a load of brands out here. If you want to see Sea Otter, check out the video down below. In the meantime, give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe on the Globe.